You feel me? Week 5 has honestly been eye-opening in so many different ways, because I'm just realizing, like, when I do take the time to focus on pouring into myself, whatever business I am starting, whatever work I want to do, the people I want to work with, the opportunities I want to be a part of or that I want to create, it's so many distractions that come up. It's like detrimental things that will keep the normal person bound and unable to get back up and to focus on it. Like, whether it's personal stuff, family stuff, financial stuff, it's like even in the midst of the dark moments or the low moments, I can make something out of nothing all the time. But when I actively say, okay, I'm going to take this time to focus on getting this book done or getting this album done, or like wanting to do more photo shoots, wanting to like intentionally just cultivate who I am, it's like hella different distractions. But at the end of the day, I feel like the more you can push through those distractions, the more that you can connect with yourself throughout those moments and keep up with like your intuition and the times that's going on. I think I'm making it work with what I have, honestly. So week 5 is talking about recovering a sense of possibility for the artist way. And if you guys are just catching up on this one, I'm recording the journey because I want to document it. I did this back in 2023 and I didn't document it, but like life definitely changed in so many different ways. So I want to be able to actually record it and keep up this time. So with recovering a sense of possibility, the main question of it all was like, what do you get out of remaining stuck? And you will examine the cost of settling for appearing good rather than being authentic. And let me tell you how that snatched me the fuck up by my motherfucking neck. Because as you guys get to know me and know more about like my personal story and what I deal with and just the things that I've experienced, I've learned that like I was caring more about how I would be perceived rather than like my genuine feelings throughout the entire thing. So whether it was an experience with family members, whether it was an experience like with co-parenting, or just as a young woman, people trying to like perceive me and project things onto me and make me feel like I was a horrible person. I just wanted to focus on like, okay, well, Ty, this is how I want to show up. Like, I want to show up in a different way. So I would suppress my actual feelings about how I felt about a certain situation. And I also wouldn't speak on things because I didn't want, you got to stop caring too much. You got to stop caring too much. And this is like literally a me to me, a me to you, because you'll worry so much about like, if I tell this story, this person's going to look like it. That's not your responsibility to carry. It's really not, because they wasn't thinking about that when they was playing that role in your life. And now, granted, forgiveness is a great thing. We want to forgive, we want to forget, we want to move on, but we also want to be realistic with ourselves. Because if somebody's going to betray you, do something behind your back, slander you, or break you down in some kind of way, they do it because they don't care about you. They don't care about your growth. They don't care about how you show up. And you could be a genuine person. You can be an honest, loving person. You could be a person with so much care in your heart, and they will shoot you dead in it because they don't give a fuck. And another thing too is, I'm gonna be really honest with y'all, like, if you shut down your creative child, which is what this book talks about, you're gonna feel bogged down with so much responsibility, so many different tasks and things that come up, where you're not tapping into your imagination, you're not tapping into your play. So if you're an artist, if you're someone who's a creator, if you make music, if you write, if you do poetry, if you dance, you have to have a vivid imagination, because how else am I going to write a song and then create a music video from that, unless I see it in my imagination first? How else am I going to take a situation that I've experienced and turn it into a poem or a song if I didn't use my imagination to create something more, not even just relatable, but digestible, in a way that I'm not trauma dumping and I'm not oversharing, but I've turned an experience into art? You have to still have that sense of play. And me as a mom, I realized, like, although it can feel like you have so many different responsibilities when it comes time to like, oh, I have to play with my child, and I have to teach my child, and I have to, raise this child, but also you're still raising you. Like, I had my baby at 20. So like technically, y'all, I'm still a baby myself. I'm still getting to know myself and getting to learn like what it is that I really want to create and cultivate in my life. And then dealing with people who are like putting their responsibilities on you, you're going to lose sight of your inner child. You're going to not connect and not going to play. So for example, back in 2022, I was going through a situation. Like, we're always on a healing journey, right, y'all? We're always on this, hopefully you're on your healing journey. If you have trauma that you've experienced or anything, I hope that you are tending to that, whether it is getting an outside source or taking the time to do the shadow work yourself. That is very important. I didn't realize a lot of people don't do that, but I've always been very self-aware. So like there was a time when I was in therapy and she was like, you should become a therapist because you kind of already self-analyze and you have an idea of what's going on, and then you're finding solutions to the problems. So you just need to like talk out loud and talk through it. And I'm like, you're probably right, low key. So with the artist way for this week, it was like recovering a sense of possibility and really connecting with God. Like what would cause your disconnect and believing in a sense of God or, you know, a higher power. So just to be transparent with y'all, I went through a situation where like I get to talk and my phone be like, yeah, it's too hot, cut that off. With what I've experienced, y'all, it was like a whole growth with like self-esteem, self-worth. Like that was a real big deep dive a couple years ago. Like that ain't an issue now, but a couple years ago I started receiving intuitive messages from God, and I literally questioned myself, and I was like, who do I think I am to serve messages of God, right? That was the question. And it was like, and when you hear that out loud, it sounds extremely crazy, because would you question your ability to be a divine channel of the Most High? Like that's not where your creativity comes from. Like that's not where you came from. And that's when I knew that something was up in my life, especially with like my expression and sharing being like one of the biggest things I'm meant to grow and develop. A lot of times people don't know how to take the truth. They don't know how to digest the truth. They don't know how to walk in their truth. They don't know how to sit in who they are. And that can be, you know, irritating for other people who live in authentic lives to themselves, or who don't trust themselves, who don't think they have a strong connection, when they see someone who is embodying being a divine being, or, you know, embodying their spiritual connection, embodying all that they are. It can be irritating to some people because they know it may be within them, but just like how I was questioning who I am, who do I think I am to do this, other people are doing that too. And when you start really embodying who you are and what you're about, what divine messages you are receiving, and what creativity you can put out, that is the inspiration for other people to find out within themselves. So don't hinder yourself. Don't hold, like I had to tell myself, like, stop holding yourself back. So we had a photo shoot that came up, and someone reached out to me to be a part of the photo shoot, and I was excited about it because I've been wanting to do more creative work, because it helps me kind of get more ideas for visuals that I want to do for poetry, or for music videos that I want to do, or different things that I'm trying to be a part of, y'all. It's all just a part of the portfolio, all part of the expression. So it was a fire ass photo shoot. I'm gonna drop some clips in this so y'all can see some of it, and when we get the pictures, I just cannot wait to share them. But this girl walks up to me and she was like, oh my God, like you have such a bright aura, such a bright like personality. Like I really just love your essence. And then it's crazy because for me, like when it comes down to social media and creating content, like I don't know what the fucking block is, but it took me a long time to say, girl, get your head out of your ass and start posting, start talking, start sharing. Last year in July, I got woken up out of my sleep. God was like, Tatiana, I need you to speak. I need you to speak. Sometimes your voice be your strongest tool, and you wonder why you feel like you're silenced, because you don't know what kind of vibrations you carry within you that is going to shake up what's going on. And that's when I had to lock in and get out of my own head. So when it came time to week 5 too, it also talked about like picking activities like dancing, roller skating, going on vacation, moving to a bigger place, take a drawing class. And I just realized, like, y'all, I started off this year really strong, like poetry events, poetry performances, dance events. I was a part of an organization, and because I had posted pictures from an event that I did, the pictures wasn't even that provocative, the pictures wasn't even that revealing, but it caused people to question me, my purpose, and they questioned, their words were, do you feel like you have the ability to serve women of God? And for me, I don't take anything to offense because I look at it as like a projection. As a woman, women have been shamed and shunned in their expression for years, for centuries, for eons. And you can be a woman who embraces your sensuality, who embraces your expression, who embraces your true, authentic self, and still serve other people of God. But I'm very in tune, very connected, very much protected. So for someone to question, like, do you even have the ability to serve women of God? It brought a full circle moment for me when I questioned myself a few years ago of who am I to. And that's when I realized you have to break away from things, people, and places that will not really fully accept you and all that you are. Because you know how many women have come from all different types of walks of life that are questioning themselves, having trouble with expressing themselves, trying to find out how they can bring that out of them and still be a servant of God. And I'm not saying, because like I said, I've had a fair share of experiences, but nothing that I've ever done has been extremely provocative or in a way I feel like would deter you from thinking that I could serve people of God. Because so for me, when it came time to like my expression and my connection, you have to trust your intuition and trust all that you are in your ability to show up and to serve whoever you are called and meant to serve, because those who feel called to you will naturally be drawn to you. And a prime example of that, because like I said, y'all, I've been really on my journey of spirituality and healing for my whole life, but really prominent the last 5 years, to the point where I've been able to cultivate a creative project for myself that allows me to help others get through journeys that they've been through, being a guide to be able to live your life from a soul-led perspective, like being able to really deep dive into who you are and like all of your authenticity and embrace that in a way that you can show up to heal, to be, rest, and breathe. So when it came time to really embodying that, that can be difficult when you have people who are questioning who you are or trying to bring that down. Like, again, who do you think you are to do this? Who do you think you are? Within that, outside of me really stepping into my power, really stepping into all of who I am, allowing myself to be a vessel for my own expression and to be a source for others, it definitely unlocks something that's like making me want to dive more into my creativity and just show up more. Because this life, I feel like it goes by fast, but you really got to embrace your youth, and you really have to embrace like all that you are and all your seasons. I'm going to say this all the time because I feel like a lot of times we be so worried about the future. Well, imagine me 2022, that was 3 years ago. And in those 3 years, I didn't gain dance experience as a crisis counselor. I didn't get experience being a part of organizations. I didn't been a part of poetry performances, like so many different things that have shaped me and molded me into who I am today. That's just another stepping stool to whatever else I have to bring into this world and to show up. So in all of that, being able to create my own projects that I'm starting, and being able to fully trust in myself and trust in my abilities, I feel like that connection came in heavy. And then also I was a part of a music video, which was pretty cool. We're going to kind of see how everything comes together, but it's just a reminder, like when you set the intention, like, yeah, I want to be a part of these things, or I want to be a part of these groups. Like I kind of spoke that into existence back in 2023 when I wanted to be a part of a dance group, and it ended up joining Sirens of Orlando. Like it was just, when you speak about something, the opportunities appear and you have to jump on them. You have to use that inspired action. So that was an eye-opener for me. And I also realizing like how much abundance and creativity I hold. Like, y'all, I was like, wow, my vitality, like that has been my biggest thing to just love on and nurture. Like I don't even care about more or less how it looks to someone else when I'm deciding to show up for myself, because I have to pour into me first. I'm not pouring from no empty cup. So, and recovering a sense of possibility, it was like, it's possible for you to take your experiences and to turn them into something that's going to be a beautiful experience for someone else, or to take all that you have learned and use that discernment to keep going on your path and your journey. Recovering a sense of possibility of you still being able to start your channel, still being able to be a creative artist, still being able to tend to those parts of yourselves that you feel like you may have lost or that you're no longer connected to. So when it comes time to like recovering that sense of possibility, like knowing that miracles are possible, things are possible, when you accept and expect the abundance, be open to receiving, that is your sense of possibility. So I really love that for me, because I had shut down bad, like bad. And I was like, Todd, you have to break out of that. Because people see you, they see you. Like, somebody sent me a long ass paragraph 2 days ago, y'all. And this is somebody I wasn't even expecting this from. They haven't known me for that long. And we really haven't even had that many encounters. And they were like, I admire you, like just going in. It was a nice, good old paragraph. And I probably needed to hear that. Because at the end of the day, like, I have the intentions, I have the goals, I have the mindset, I'm making the moves, I'm doing the things. And the adversity is coming in. We try to, but nah, we're getting through it. We're recovering that sense of possibility that you never know what could come out of these experiences. You never know who you can meet, where that next conversation is gonna go. And it really allowed me to release some of the fear, because when that first part was like, you will examine the cost of settling for appearing good instead of being authentic. Like, you too worried about how, you just don't want nobody to say this about you. You too worried about how somebody's gonna baby, we want to see all of you. I want to see all of it. I want to see all of it, the good, bad, and the ugly, because this is my experience. This is just who I am and who I am becoming. So we are just gonna keep admiring that, y'all. It talks about creative blocks. I think my creative block would probably be like overreading, because I be reading a lot. And when I have things that I could be putting into a book rather than constantly consuming things. But I feel like that's just, I don't really watch TV a lot, or if I do, it got to be a good movie or something I'm interested in. But other than that, it says another thing that I'm going to leave this with is like, my payoff for staying blocked is not a goddamn thing. There is no payoff in staying blocked. Be your fullest expression, because you could die tomorrow. And all these great ideas that you have in your phone, all these great poems, all these great visuals, all these great connections, it's not even going to matter. So don't stay blocked. There is no payoff for staying small. There's no payoff for staying blocked. And I had to learn this the hard way. Because granted, I have blossomed in so many beautiful ways, but there's more. There's more. And we need to see the more. So as we keep going through this journey, I'm going to post some other clips, get some other things going. We got some other stuff to talk about, but I'm just making sure I stay consistent with my Artist Way check-ins, because the opportunities are coming in. I'm creating the opportunities. I'm creating a lot more, and it's just a matter of like really the completion and the consistency, and overall I feel like more support. But other than that, y'all, it's been going pretty good. We got a couple more weeks left to get through, and yeah, I don't know, I feel like I have to stop shutting down, because I be in the midst of saying some really good shit, and I'm like, oh, never mind, it doesn't even matter, like all the time. And it's like, no, it does matter. You probably about to say something that's about to like really take off, and then I just completely shut myself down. So I don't want this to be too long. I just want to let y'all know, like, we just checking in for week 5 of recovering a sense of possibility, really recovering a sense of understanding, like, you're a divine channel. Use those as warnings, signs, guides on my path, and just staying consistent on that. So we are going to be checking in next week for week 6, and then I'll see what other videos I'm gonna get out for y'all, because I have so much stuff on my phone. I just gotta edit it, y'all. It's just the going back and editing concept that's like, it could be draining, but all in all, we're getting it done. So yeah, we'll be back.